Hey guys, welcome back to the This Is All Skate Shop YouTube channel. I'm Ivo and we're gonna do a review of the Seba E3 today. We are here, of course, in the This Is All Skate Shop. So you can see we have all the models on the market right here. If you ever want to try some skates, then the best thing to do is to come by the store and actually put them on your feet to feel how the fit works with your foot. Take a fun weekend trip with your girlfriend or boyfriend to Amsterdam and make a visit. It's worth your effort. For those who want to buy online, we have a web shop, thisissol.com, and you can find, of course, these skates and all the other good inline skates on the market on our web shop. I'm going to run through the history of the brand Seba, tell you what different models of the E3 there are, compare them to other models, and tear them apart, tell you everything about the little specs of these skates, and tell you my honest opinion about it. In this video, I'm going to throw in some terms that you don't recognize or don't know yet. Then check out our channel, because by now we've been doing this for a couple of years. We've made a video about almost any topic that you can imagine. So if you hear a term and you don't understand it, search for it on our YouTube channel and you'll probably find a 20-minute video of me explaining everything about that specific topic. So for now, let's start with the history of the brand Seba. Seba started in the 2000s, I think it was like 2005, with the FR models. It was one of the most popular freestyle slalom skates that there has ever been, I think. It's one of the best sellers, and that's also because they did a really good job with promotion and marketing. The owners of Seba are themselves slalom skaters. And then Seba developed carbon boots, and they really upped the bar of what a slalom skate should be like. And most other brands actually followed their example. So there's a lot of like FR copies and Seba Highlight copies, and it's a trendsetter and it's a really solid brand. But in 2018, something happened and the brand kind of like split up in two. I have an interview with the owner of Seba, Sebastian Lafargue is his name, if I pronounce it correctly, I hope I do, running through the whole history of the brand. So check that one out if you want to dive deeper. For now, just know that kind of like FR became its own brand, and the FR model where Seba started with now is not made anymore under the Seba brand, but it's made under a separate FR brand. FR brand is doing great. It's still one of the best-selling brands. Their foundation is that solid FR skate, and now they also have like other carbon boots, and they made a UFS version of their FR skate, and so there's really a lot of development within FR. Back to Seba, because FR kind of like took their most popular model, they were left with a hole in what they could offer. And that hole was filled in 2020 by the Seba E3 as kind of like an entry-level freestyle skate. So that's what this is. And this is actually one of the most cheap options that you can buy if you want to have like a solid hard boot with 4x80, kind of like a standard skate. There's a bunch of skates like this out there on the market, like a rollerblade cruiser, rollerblade twister, a power slide imperial. There's like a whole list of skates that are kind of similar, and this is one of the cheapest ones. This was kind of like their answer of Seba to fill in that hole. There are a couple of different models on the market. They started out with 3 different models. There's the regular versions and the premium versions. In the beginning, the difference was only the strap here. So the normal, or just like the Seba E380, had the strap, and the Seba E380P, or premium, had an ankle buckle with the ratchet on it that you could tighten like this. Now they made like a new line with some colors. This was just released. And here the premium version actually has a metal buckle, so that's actually really premium. That's really nice. The mounting for the buckle is bolted on, and also the cuff is with the screw, so you can unscrew it. So that's the difference between the premium and the regular version. And then there's also the FRJ, which is like a junior version, and the junior version has like a rubber band instead of laces, and it has these insoles that I'll show you that you can take out, so you can kind of like adjust the size by adding or taking out some of these extra insoles. Then there's different frame setups. There's the 4x80 and the 3x110. Okay, the first and most important topic that any skate has is the fit. Like, how does it feel on your feet? Like, is it a wide, is it a slim skate, or is it like tall? Again, best thing to do is come by our store and actually try it on, or maybe if you see somebody skating and it has the skate, approach them and see if you can wear it, or ask a friend that has the skate. That's the best thing. I think in general the fit is the same as the FR models before. Okay, so if you're used to having the FR models, then that's a nice comparison. And in general, I think it's like a regular fit. So it's not particularly really wide, it's not really narrow, and it doesn't fit big or small. As a broad stroke, I would go for your shoe size. There's something weird going on with the sizing in the skate. First off, there's a lot of shell sizes, but the shell sizes are not like equally divided. For example, like 41 and 42 are separate shell sizes, but then 45, 46, and 47 are bundled into one shell. So the shell is the outer part of a skate. And what is done for the 45, 46, and 47 is only the length of the liner is a little bit different with these sizes. But the length of the liner, it will adjust to your foot. It will get warm, it will move, it will just remold itself to the shape that's available. And the actual shape that's available is the size 47. So we at This Is All, we don't buy or offer the size 45 and 46 because they're actually the same as the size 47. We offer the size 47 and list it on our website as 45 to 47 because that's how the sizing truly is. For example, if you think like I'm going to buy a size 44, but maybe it's a little bit tight, I want to have one size up. On our website, you're actually conscious that it's not one size up, it's 3 sizes up. Okay, and it's really important to look at shell sizes as the true sizes and not the liner sizes, because the liner sizes don't really matter. So that's the dual sizing system on our website. We completely redid our website towards that dual sizing system. We have an entire video also about dual sizing. If you want to dive more deep into it because you don't really understand it yet, you can do it on our YouTube channel. Then one thing that I think is a little bit weird about the fit is on the top of the skate here, it always seems like there's a lot of room, so you can just put your finger in it. I don't know how that can be. It's a little bit of an open shell here, so maybe that's the reason. But I've seen multiple people wearing this skate where I just think like that there's not that much pressure at the top. So maybe this skate also is actually really good for people with a tall foot. If you want to learn more about the actual shell sizes and how long they are, I'm gonna upload the inside length of this skate later today. So before this video is launched, we'll have the inside length. And what I'll do is I'll take the liner out, because the liner will adjust to your foot anyway, and I'll just measure the length from the heel to the toe of the inside, because that's the true size. And because the shell sizing is so weird, I want to kind of like investigate how this is in reality. These shell sizes will be uploaded into our Excel sheet that we have with a total list of all the brands with their inner measurements, and the link to this Excel sheet will be put into the description of the video. Then the length of the frame is the same for each of the sizes. So it doesn't matter if you have a size 36, which is really small, or a size 47, which is a really big foot, the length of the frame is the same. And if you have like up to a size 42, I think a size 80 millimeter, like a 4x80 millimeter frame is great. That's a great frame size. But if you have size 44 or like the 47 shell, then I think the 4x80 is really short. So unless you really want to do like heel rolls and toe rolls, but most people buying the skate will not want to do that. So then I think having a longer frame is better. Of course, you can put on a longer frame, like I did with this one. This is a 4x100 millimeter frame, and it's a lot longer. This is a size 47 boot, and you see that it kind of like feels natural in how long the frame is and how long the boot is. If you have a size 47, you're probably like a really big guy, and you want to be really stable because you don't want to have like a short wheelbase and fall over. So one solution is to just put a different frame on the skate. We have this one for sale on our website as well as a custom. You can put any frame on this skate that you want. Because it's a 165 millimeter mount, that means that the distance between these two holes is 165 millimeters. There's a raised heel here in the back, so there's a little bit height difference, and that's kind of like a mounting standard. It's one of the most common mounting standards, and any wheel configuration, frame length that you want is available for this boot. It's not the best version of the 165 millimeter mount because the more expensive skates, because like I told you in the beginning, this is really cheap skate, okay? There's also skates that are like a solid hardwood that are maybe 3 times more expensive. And those more expensive ones have a metal plate in the bottom. You see here, this is plastic, and that means that if you put a frame on it, the frame will be able to move a little bit. So if you can do a test. I'll show you the test. Put the skate underneath your arm like this, and then you pull on the frame like this. If you can wiggle the frame, if you move it, if I can do that with my hand, just imagine what your leg will do if it's your body weight on it. That's one of the ways that this skate is it's cheap in it. But you get what you pay for. But for beginners, you probably don't feel it that much, so it's fine. The frame is bolted on with M6 bolts, and the axles in the frame are just the standard axles here in the center, and they're really special on the outside. One thing that's special about these axles though is that they're really tight. So if you just have like a normal tool, even the tool that's provided in the box, you probably won't be able to open these axles because they're so like tightly tightened. Seba as a brand has a really good tool. It's called the Seba Pro tool. We have it on thisissold.com, of course, and in our store if you want to get it. And it has a really big leverage. So with the Seba Pro tool, you can like really like easily open it. And otherwise, I guess if you don't have that tool, you just need to improvise and be smart. But it's actually possible with this skate to just like twist a normal Allen key and just like twist the metal all the way instead of opening it. So that's how tight it is. This is the Seba Pro tool. Now more about the outer axles, because something smart is done there, and that it's a rockable axle. And that means that you can put the axle in it in 2 positions. So there's a little bit of a bulge here, you see that? And it's asymmetrical on this side. That means you can put it in like this, and you can put it in like this, upside down or normal. And that changes the wheel position from high to low. It changes it a little bit. And if you put it higher, then there's a rockering effect in the frame, meaning that if you lean forward, you're just on the forward wheels, and if you lean backwards, you're just on the backwards wheels. And that increases the maneuverability a lot, increases the playfulness, but it also increases the instability. So if you're just a beginner, I wouldn't do this. But if you feel really playful and you're a good skater and you change the rockering position, you immediately start to dance because you're so maneuverable. So that's a lot of fun to experiment with. And that's kind of like how you can see that Seba has these roots with slalom skating, because this is really something that slalom skaters really appreciate. The frame on the skate is manufactured in a casting technique, which is less good than an extrusion technique. Complicated terms again. Check out our YouTube channel about frame manufacturing techniques if you want to learn more about this. One funny thing is that FR made a sole plate for their FR skates, but the Seba boots are very similar because of their shared history and everything. So I thought, maybe this sole plate will fit on the E3s as well. And it kind of does. Like there's a little bit room, like I can move it a little bit. But if you bolt this on, I think it will be pretty solid. You do need to re-drill the holes though. So yeah, you have to be a little bit technical to be able to mount this, and you need to put in a new like a mounting plate on the inside, like a T-nut. If you don't have it, we have it. So send us a message if you want to install this and you need the proper hardware for it. Just reach out. I don't know. Then you can make it an aggressive skate and do some grinding. That's cool, right? The last thing that I want to say about frames is that there's no brake included in the box with the skate. And if you want to mount a brake on it, you can. You would need to get the FR universal brake for this. Because of the weird axle that's here in the back, you can like need a special replacement axle, which is included in the FR universal brake set. I already said that the sideways flex is a little bit more than that you would want because of there's no metal plate in the bottom. The sideways flex of the boot itself is fine. It's great. It's just like what you would expect as like a solid hard boot. Then the forward flex is also, I think, what it should be. Just normal, like the cuff wraps around your ankle perfectly fine and guides you to the front. It's a great forward flex, just as you would assume a skate would be. If you take out the liner, you see that there's these lacing holes here, which is great. I like that because then you can tighten the liner around your foot a lot better. It's a basic liner. It's really, you can feel it that it's not like a high-end, high-quality liner. One thing that high-end liners have, they always have like a neoprene toe, and with this one, you see that like there's a little bit of an angle in the front. That means that it will break in some because this will actually break up. Like this front will adjust a lot to your foot because right now it's angled like this, and later it will become like more the normal shape that your foot actually has when your toes push against the front. Okay, so in the beginning it will feel maybe tighter than later, especially because of this reason here. The insole in it is just really basic, cheap insole, and the handle is really meant to carry the skate and not to pull on it, because you will break it. Inside the skate is a raised back and the front is lower, so that's normal. And there's no shock absorber in the skate. I also don't advise you to put in a shock absorber. Like if you wanted to do some more jumps, just learn to like bend your knees better. Because if you put in a shock absorber, like your whole angle changes as well and you're leaning more forward. So my advice is to just leave it like that. No shock absorber also means that you have better control over your skates. So it's not per se a bad thing. Next topic is the cuff. I already told you that it wraps around your ankle nicely. It's a very common cuff because it's used a lot. Like it's the same cuff that's used on the FR models. It's also the same cuff that's used on the Seba CJ models. And because it's used on so many different models, actually it's also a little bit complicated in the sizing. Because for this skate there's 3 sizes of the cuff, but for the Seba CJs they only use 2 sizes. So on our website, if you select the size you want to buy an aftermarket cuff, check the description because the sizing is a little bit complicated. Like if you have this skate, then you should get that size, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of different color options for this cuff. Because it's so kind of like standard and there's so many models already in the past that had this cuff, they just released a lot of colors. So there's a lot of customization options. With the earlier models, they have a riveted cuff bolt, but the newer premium models have a bolted cuff bolt. So it has a screw here and it's a lot easier to replace. If you want to get this model with a riveted cuff bolt, but you want to have a screw in there, we can do that for you. We have like a customizer tool on our website. So if you buy this skate online and you add like a product to the shopping cart to take off the rivet, then we can do it for you. So then you'll get the skate actually with a normal screw. Regarding the screw, there's 2 options for cuffs. Like this is the normal cuff, but then there's also the more expensive FR FR1 and FR2 cuffs, and they have like it's a bigger hole, and you can change the cuff bolt in 4 positions. It kind of like change the cuff position and also then adjust the flex with that. So that's kind of like one funny thing that you can do to adjust this skate, because that cuff will also work on this skate. It's the same sizing, it's just a different cuff bolt. Then Micro also has the same cuff sizing, and the Micro cuffs are a little bit taller, I think. So that's also fun to experiment with that. The cuff has these flaps here, and there's a scissor logo. If you look here, you see it, and the scissor logo is so that you know that you can actually cut it off, because I also see in the store here, if people come and try the skates, they kind of like struggle with this part, like what needs to be over, what needs to be under, and then if you know what needs to be under, like it's just hard to push it in. So I advise basically for anybody getting this skate to cut off the flap in the length that you want. Me personally, I don't really like this thing here, like this little thingy where the buckle goes through. So if this would be my skate, I would probably cut this off as well, because it's just a lot easier to open a buckle if it doesn't go through this. Then you can also cut off the buckle if it's too long, because the buckle goes inside the skate and then it gets stuck between the cuff and the liner, and it's sometimes really hard to push it in further. If you have like a small ankle and you need to close your skate a lot, then I would advise you to cut it off at the right length. If you ever want to replace the buckle, then you can. This is just a standard buckle mount. Even though it's riveted on, you can just like take a screwdriver and drill these rivets off if you don't know how to do it. We know how to do it. If you want to get the skates with bolts instead of rivets, again, the customizer tool has that option. And then you can put on like a metal buckle, for example, or a memory buckle. So it's a standard mount. The distance is always the same. It's a standard buckle mount, SBM, and then it has 3 holes. So this is the SBM3 system. Any buckle on our website that listed SBM3 can fit on this skate. Same for the ankle buckle. It's also a standard mount. This one is not riveted on. It has a screw, but the normal version with the Velcro is riveted on. Of course, we can unscrew this for you as well. You can put in any ankle buckle. So if you ever break it, it's easy to replace any SBM2, because this one has 2 holes. Any SBM2 buckle on our website will fit on this skate. It has a ratchet. That means that you can just push it like this to close it. And then there's a release button here in the middle to open it. The release button is sometimes really hard to push in. If you tighten it really hard, then you don't know kind of like what direction to push it. You shouldn't push it like this. You should more push it in this direction. Otherwise you cannot open it. I'm of course not a really big fan of the ankle buckles. I do like the function because it's good to have your feet push back, but I don't like the aesthetics. And I have a lacing technique. We have a YouTube short on our YouTube shorts in our channel. If you go there, I explain like a special lacing technique that allows you to tighten your laces so hard that you don't need an ankle buckle anymore. And it's also, I think it's a little bit extra work and it sits a little bit in the way. And mostly aesthetically, I just don't like it. Then next topic is the slider. So it's funny on this particular skate that like the buckle here is riveted on, the cuff is riveted on, but then the slider is bolted on. Because I think that people are way more likely to replace a buckle than to replace a slider. We sell sliders at our web shop. I think the Seba normal Seba slider will also fit on this skate, but hardly ever people just replace it. I think the main reason people replace this one is because they want a different color or something like that, because there's a lot of color options available for sliders. The goal of these sliders is to just protect the skate if you make a slide, which is kind of like going sideways on your skate and dragging your wheels over the ground. If you fall with it, you'll damage the side of the skate. But not a lot of people, I think, will actually need to replace this. These wheels are not the best wheels. This is a 80mm wheel, and it will roll, of course, but it will just not roll as fast. It has a really low rebound, and the rebound is the most important factor of a wheel. You can measure the wheel bound by throwing a wheel on the ground and see how far it bounces back. And this one, you notice immediately if you throw it on the ground, it doesn't pop back as good. We have a rebound video on our YouTube channel, and we measured all the wheels that we have in stock and how high their rebound was. And this one was the very lowest in rebound. But yeah, again, you get what you pay for, and you can always replace the wheels. So if you get this skate and you want to get better wheels, just buy better wheels with it. Then the bearings are just bearings. They roll, they're fine. Don't worry about the bearings. So you can upgrade the wheels, of course. You can also upgrade the insoles because the insoles are really weak. You can change the frame and get like a 4x100 frame for more stability. The liner is very basic, so you can upgrade the liner to improve the skate. And you can put in wax laces, because then with wax laces you're able to tighten the skate a lot harder. And of course you can do the sole plate if you want to do aggressive skating. So these are all the improvements that I can think of to make this skate better. My overall review is that for the price that this skate is really good. Okay, so if you want to get into skating and you want to get like a budget skate, this probably is one of the cheapest skates that is still good. Any other skate that has the same price will be less good, okay? So take that into mind. My overall review is a great value for money. So that's it. That's everything that I had to say. If you think I missed something, drop it in the comments. I'm interested if you know something that I don't. We make a new video about anything in skating every week. So this time it was a review, but maybe next week it's like a lesson or some other industry insight. We try to tell you anything inline skating related. So subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about inline skating, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.